Good.
Excellent. So you're coming to Utica, right down the road from where we're talking to you right now on Saturday. You pretty excited about that?
Really looking forward to it. This is our second time there, and we had such a blast last time. We're really looking forward to it.
Do you have any crazy stories about the local residents to tell us?
Nothing I can mention on the air.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So is this the beginning of your tour for your new album, Stereo Rodeo?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we play this show, and then we have a couple days off, and then we start up, and we pretty much go straight until August.
Oh, great. Now, Stereo Rodeo is really interesting because, consecutively you guys were releasing albums every couple of years or so. And then all of a sudden there was this 7-year break. And I know a lot of the people that I know that are Rusted Root fans, including myself, was like, oh, what happened with Rusted Root? Where's the albums? And there's this 7-year break. Why such a long run there?
Well, we were pretty busy. We were out touring a lot, and we had put out a doubles live CD, and then each of us was doing our own solo work. It just seemed like a time to sort of lay back a little bit and refocus and see what we wanted to do. But like we started working on the album 2 years ago, and we got it now, and we're pretty much rejuvenated. We feel like I'm working on the next record right now to be dropped, for next year. Hopefully, we'll have another record out this time next year. So we're trying to keep on track this time and having a good time with it.
That's excellent. So fans everywhere can expect another record around this time next year?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now let me ask you this. Liz Berlin and Patrick Norman were both quoted saying, there's so much energy with this record. It's fresh, it's something new and powerful. These are words that they had used. Do you think that, the time in between studio releases had anything to do with that? Or what do you think it is about Stereo Rodeo that makes it such a fresh, energetic, powerful album?
Yeah, I think the time off really helped out. When you're on a tour bus for years at a time, it's easy to get burnt out. It's easy to feel sort of disconnected with the world and with even the people you love and in society in general. So it was really a needed break. And for me, I was out doing solo work too, but it was different for me because I could go out in my Jeep and just play the whole country and play these small clubs and have beers with people afterwards. And I was having a great time with it. And musically, what I was learning is just how to intimately reach people and to deal with dynamics that were real quiet and subtle. And there's a whole spectrum that I was never used to. I mean, Rusted Root was my first band, and we got out with the seven piece and lots of drumming and loud music, and I never really broke it down to that. So coming back, I was writing music for my solo thing, but then I was thinking, wow, this would be great if I could bring it to the band and we could achieve that more delicate dynamic as well as break it at times, during a song or for others. For entire songs, we could keep it intimate, or for parts of songs, we could bring it back up and rock out again, and really, widen our spectrum of emotions that we were able to explore.
Very interesting. Now, you mentioned, having the big band Rusted Root has a lot of members, and to be able to incorporate all these different dynamics, and every album that you've released consistently has a lot of different feeling to it, very eclectic feel. To have so many members and to have that dynamic going, how do you make it work?
It is a lot of work. Communication's key. I think on this record I was able to produce it, so I think that sort of clarifies the roles. I'm the songwriter. I get to pick the ideas that I think work with the song, and sort of making that clear, I think, keeps everything fluid, because there's no questioning it. It just sort of is what it is. And so people keep coming up with ideas, and I just, it's almost like, for me, it was like playing ping pong. It was like moving that quick. Like I said, that idea, no, not that idea, but come up with this. It was just like really, really fast. And I think that added to the excitement, because we were all hyped up on this really intense wave of creativity.
Excellent. Now on the album you have the cover, Suspicious Minds, Elvis song there. Is there any cover that you feel you haven't tackled, or, that one song that you feel just kind of calls your name, like you should cover this, but you haven't done that yet?
No, I never really, I was never really into doing covers. I was always into sort of exploring my own inner landscape, and that was sort of my drive. But I think with Suspicious Minds, it was just a very mystical song to me. It sort of, I didn't know why it was so moving the way it is, and because on paper it didn't seem like that great. The lyrics didn't quite pull together, and the chords didn't seem like anything that special. But when you play it, it's really an emotional song. So I was just fooling around with it on a sound check, and the band joined in, and I turned around to the drummer and said, "Hey, play a Latin groove." And that night we played it, and it was a huge hit. So I think that's how that came about.
Now, do you find that often in all of your musical career, that when you look at something on paper, it doesn't have the power or the life often until you put that music behind it? Or do you believe that most of the time just the words alone have the power?
No, I usually focus more on the tone and the melody and the rhythm and all that together. What does that make? The words are usually secondary to me, usually, but then there are songs where the lyrics are way out front and sort of carry the tune. I think that was the case on Weary Bones on this record. Each song's so different, and music is so vast. That's more my tendency, though, is to go with the tone and the melody and the lyric and the rhythm.
All right. Now, with your band, we're gonna get a little crazy, metaphysical, a little bit new agey on this, just to have some fun. Now, let's say Rusted Root, who has that eclectic sound. Let's say bands were reincarnated, and this is your next life. Rusted Root was your second life as a band. What band would have been your first life, or your first musical experience? Yeah,
that's really interesting, because when we were on tour with Page and Plant, I would go out and watch them every night, and it really felt like I would start watching them, and then all of a sudden I'd close and open my eyes, and I would be watching like these minstrels, like just sort of skipping around the forest, playing their musical instruments, and they had that vibe so thick that I thought it was completely insane what I was experiencing, but it felt so true to me. But that's a really good question.